Bitcoin dipping 20% in the last 2 days, but the Bitcoin bulls quickly buying up that fear. The question is, are the bulls here to turn this ship around, or is there more downside to come in the coming hours? What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe and like on the way in. It means a lot as we get this live stream going. This is going to be probably a little bit quicker than the one earlier. This is the second live stream of the day, but important things transpiring on the Bitcoin charts from what took place, just hours. I don't know. How many hours ago did I do that last live stream? So I want to take a quick look from that clip, hours ago, 9 hours, of a is just very much in play over the course of the next couple. You know what? What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe and like. This is what we were talking about in the video. This green channel, and just to scroll over here so you can see this, that green channel right around just above 30,000 to around 32,800 or so. That was in play at $38,600, and now here we are trading, well, right now as I do this video, $35,600, but we have wicked down to $33,400 or so. Now, what's happening on the charts right now is so harmonious with what happened 6 days ago. And I want to just kind of throw this out there. Look at this move 6 days ago. 20% move to the downside. And I'll zoom in just so you can see this a little bit better. 20% move to the downside right there, with just a crazy looking hourly wick on that candle. And then what do we have right now? Something very similar transpiring, 20% to the downside right here with a very similar hourly wick. Can't get too comfortable when you see such perfect synergy on the screen. I love when it happens, but you got to have an eyebrow raised when this is happening. So that's what we're doing now. This purpose of this video is to raise our eyebrow and say, I don't know about that. Because that looks a little too perfect. But Bitcoin does do that, even on the macro charts. It's a big reason why we're able to zoom out on the macro and really predict these long-term macro moves of Bitcoin. Hence, $100,000 is a huge prediction for so many analysts. But jumping into this, let's break this down. So what we were talking about in this video, and you can actually see there's actually another rectangle just above that green rectangle. And I kind of want to discuss that real quick because I didn't discuss it in today's earlier video. So let's do that. This rectangle right here, I want to place this Fibonacci retracement. And what I want to do is I want to take it from this last swing low to our previous swing high. And we get this Fibonacci area right here. And it was very confluent. We talked about it in today's video with this trend line from a rising channel. And it's just it really is a good looking Fibonacci support area for Bitcoin, confluent with this trend line. And we were discussing that in today's video. But the other thing I did chart in today's video, and I really didn't explain it very well, because I have trouble when there's these two swing lows so close to each other with such volatility. It gets difficult to kind of figure out where you want to chart it from, right? So sometimes you just chart both. And here we can take this crazy hourly wick, similar to the hourly wick we just closed, to that same swing high. And then we have this other channel, right? And I'll get rid of both of these, but I'm going to just chart for you this larger Fibonacci retracement. And then I'll get rid of both. But let's chart this box right here. This is the larger Fibonacci retracement I just charted. And now let me just delete these so that we can see everything clear. So we have two of these Fibonacci areas, right? And they're both kind of confluent with this trend line. And oftentimes is what I was trying to show a clip from this video. But in the clip, I was basically discussing oftentimes Bitcoin retraces into these channels, right? It's a throwback. And they happen more often than not. Definitely, I would say more than 50% of the time, it seems, for Bitcoin. So we got a throwback to a key area for Bitcoin. And to me, it's just not a big deal. And Bitcoin revisiting these channels, and I mentioned this in today's video earlier, is bullish, in my opinion. I think it's so much needed. I don't like when it just keeps going up, and people, and I see it firsthand, I think, because I see so many comments coming in, but the euphoria and the overconfidence that I see in the markets, I start getting nervous when I see that. People just, they're convinced that Bitcoin's just going to keep going. And that's when you start really getting, you have to be careful when we're in an environment like that. And that's where Bitcoin was just again. And it's happening so quick. It keeps happening, right? On this hourly chart. But long story short, let's just talk about this real quick, because I know really the premise of this video is support. Where in the world is support for Bitcoin? Well, support is right where we hit this first Fibonacci area, right? That we talked about in today's video. And the other one we really talked about as well is there as well. This is support, everybody. This is going down into 30,000s. So I don't know if Bitcoin's going to truly bounce off of this and continue to the upside. Nobody does. We will watch for clues that stem from back here, a recovery that Bitcoin had from this crazy 20% dip, right? But we're going to look for clues over the coming hours. We'll probably know a lot more by tomorrow morning. But just to give you an idea, there still are targets to the downside, more support to the downside as well. So what that could mean from where Bitcoin is, 35,600. If Bitcoin really got volatile, coming down to $30,700 to $800 area, we'd be testing another Fibonacci retracement, right? That kind of very volatile Fibonacci retracement. It's this last swing low at that last 20% dip to the most previous swing high. We'd be testing that support area. And I think it's a really important area to watch for. For reference, once again, if you're watching this, 33,100 down to 30,800, I would say, is a nice area to watch for Bitcoin. Now, as I was just mentioning a few minutes ago, this wick, it's just crazy. This entire move for Bitcoin, how similar it looks in terms of what has transpired back here on January 4th. Now, I want to mention this because I briefly mentioned this in today's video, which was, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this, the signs of the altcoins that just last night, altcoins were moving, right? And the signs of Bitcoin getting ready to potentially dip were there. Because the same thing happened, and I have it actually highlighted on this chart, a little bit cleaner, right here. And this was basically kind of January 3rd to 4th. You can see Bitcoin kind of consolidating down a little bit right here, 3rd to 4th, before a very big dip, the 20% dip. You see this move, consolidating down a little bit, right? Just having a little bit of trouble. But at that time, coins like Cardano, here's January 3rd right here, making moves, right? Before they took a big dip. So this was kind of, if we're gonna present this as a reflection of what just transpired in the last 24 hours, this would be like yesterday, Cardano moving up, right? And then on the Bitcoin chart, if we go to the Bitcoin chart, this would be yesterday, and this would be Bitcoin just stalling out while Cardano goes crazy, getting ready potentially, it looked like, for a repeat. And now we got an exact repeat. Here's Cardano kind of breaking to the downside. Now here's Bitcoin back on the hourly chart, falling to the downside, and almost exact move, 20% to the downside. So that is where we are. And it's documented live right now. I mean, we're watching it together as it happens. An almost exact move for Bitcoin. And even the way that there have been buyers in this hourly wick to the support area, also pretty much identical for Bitcoin. So when we start zooming out, we start saying, okay, what's going on now in the macro chart? Because we talk about the macro chart so often. And this is what it looks like. This is kind of starting to zoom out on the macro. This is the daily chart zoomed out. Some things to note, most recently we were talking about the 50-day moving average down here. Currently, and I'll note that it's very bullish. The 50-day moving average is currently above $24,000, everybody. I mean, just a few months ago, we would love to just see Bitcoin at $24,000. We would love to see Bitcoin at $20,000, right? I mean, look at this. If Bitcoin just broke $20,000, like this was, mid-December, not even a month ago. And now the 50-day moving average is above $24,000. So the separation that Bitcoin has from this area is just so healthy. It's so good because we know in any market, we look for Bitcoin to, at some point here or there, consolidate into the 50-day moving average. Even if Bitcoin just trades sideways for a while, it will pull the 50-day moving average up, and we always look for that move. A lot of times it takes patience, especially in just these parabolic environments, and you can see this on the chart. And Bitcoin has just gotten so much separation from the 50-day moving average. We previously, as mentioned, got almost 70% overextension, but now we're getting a little bit of a throwback, right? And that's good. So Bitcoin doing this, and even if it goes down further, and we're talking maybe 30,000 or so to this, going back to this hourly chart to give you an idea what that looks like, right here, the bottom of this Fibonacci retracement support, if Bitcoin goes to that area on the daily chart, we'd be hanging out in the 20-day moving average area, this green line, 50-day moving average being pulled up, and really at the end of the day on this zoomed out chart on the daily, putting in some structure, right? What happens there? A bounce? Are we going to fall into a symmetrical triangle? And I always talk about this because they just always form. Could it be just, a new rising wedge that's going to just bring us to a new higher high in the 40 plus thousands, $50,000 area potentially? We always look for these things and we speculatively watch out for them. But at the end of the day, one thing is true and one thing is important to just realize. Bitcoin's consolidating in a bull market. The bull market just started in November. Going to the weekly chart, just to give you an idea of how quick this has transpired. Look at this weekly chart. It's ridiculous. Look at the overextension from the 20-week moving average, the green. It's just crazy. And if we chart the bull market doors, right here, the bull market high 2017 to the bear market low, here we are. Look at this. Overextension from that 20-week moving average and overextension from the green channel, that is the bull market doors. And it happens so quick. We're currently over 100% overextended from that 786 line. And the same exact thing, everybody, just to give you reference. I don't know, maybe you're new to this channel, you haven't seen me chart this. I chart it a lot, and I have to actually go to another chart to note this. And you know what? Look how messy that is. What am I doing? So let's just restart that and let's chart this one. This is the last cycle, bull market, 2013 bull market high to the bear market low, Bitcoin entering into that last bull market, and look at the similar overextension from the 786 bull market doors. Before even getting any type of consolidation, Bitcoin was 200% overextended. So we just looked, Bitcoin right now overextended, what did we say, is like 100% from the 786? Little over 100% or so. And back then, Bitcoin got up to 200% overextension before any type of consolidation. And look at that consolidation, though. It's definitely important to realize that the overextension to the throwback to the 20-week moving average, almost 40% throwback back down to the 20-week moving average. So be prepared for those moves. I know there's a lot of there's probably some people right now on this live stream that don't want to hear about these pullbacks, but it is such a mentally healthy thing to do. Even if you don't think it's going to happen, even if you don't want it to happen. I'm not sitting here saying I want it to happen. I don't want a 40% dip to happen. I want what all of you want, which is just, let's just keep putting in these green weekly candles. Let's go straight to 100,000. But it's just mentally healthy to prepare, especially if you want to buy dips in a bull market. That could be what we're looking at. Really great opportunities to accumulate more Bitcoin. There's a ton of people out there that are just asking, when should I buy Bitcoin? They're scared to pull the trigger. Hopefully they're not scared if Bitcoin ever did do a move like that, right? 40% dip to the downside or something. And can you believe, even from where we trade right now, a 30% dip to the downside brings us to $24,000. That's how bullish we are right now in Bitcoin. So going to this weekly chart, very clean weekly chart, how are we going to consolidate into the 20-week moving average? I don't know. We wait and see. I've been tracking Bitcoin on the hourly chart just because everything's happening so quick. And at the end of the day, I just actually received a really good comment on Twitter about, I don't have it open, but somebody was mentioning the RSI, the momentum oscillators just don't seem to be as reliable as they once were. And it's really kind of true. And this is stemming from one simple thing that we're all experiencing together. We've all been waiting for it. We've been talking about it for years. And that's simple. It's just the demand supply factor. There's a supply shock happening. There's not enough supply. And so, there's no telling when this train is going to slow down. There's no telling when we're going to get actual consolidation into a 20-week moving average. There's no telling if we're ever even going to get a 40% dip, but we're getting 20% dips at the very least, and they're happening quick. Now, if you do zoom out here on this, this RSI momentum oscillator, I do want to chart this real quick. This is Bitcoin 2013 overbought on the RSI on the weekly. Let me just put that line there. Bitcoin has never gotten that high. We can put another line at, also in 2013 right here. Bitcoin kind of just touched that area. So the one thing, and I talked about this the other day, that Bitcoin is doing, it's never done on this RSI. It's not this. We've been this high before. Everybody, we've been this high before in 2013. But the one thing Bitcoin hasn't done until recently is this, and that is consolidation in overbought territory. And I think a couple days ago, I might have mentioned, I'm looking for, will this continue? Consolidation in overbought territory. And right now, as I do this live stream, we're gonna get the answer probably very quick, probably with this week, whether or not this pattern of consolidation before continuation continues. It would look like truly on the hourly chart, it would look like a bounce right here. It would look like consistency of these higher highs and higher lows as Bitcoin just keeps hitting new all-time highs. It would really happen right here on the micro hourly chart. This move right here would happen exactly like this move. We'd get a bounce, continue to the upside as we have been doing, and I'll be doing videos in like 48 hours about $45,000 Bitcoin. That's what it will look like if Bitcoin consolidates up here again. And this is probably the most interesting thing to me on the macro charts. I love how the micro charts just kind of translate onto just these areas on the weekly macro, right? We're looking at momentum in Bitcoin, and can Bitcoin really just defy the odds again, which is just, let's just hang out up here on this RSI. And this is the RSI. This is a more slower moving momentum oscillator, right? If we look at the stock RSI, Bitcoin it does hang out up there often, right? For a little bit. So there's nothing new happening there, but on the slower moving momentum oscillator, there is some clues that Bitcoin could potentially just stay up here, stay overbought, keep breaking all-time highs. And it all stems from the fact that there's supply shock happening in real time in these markets. Again, I mentioned it earlier, everybody's talking about it. PayPal customers alone buying up the supply of newly mined Bitcoin. And what's going to happen, right? When people are and everybody, if you've been in the space for a while and telling people are messaging you, right? People are messaging me, should I buy Bitcoin? And this is in the 30,000s. Is now a good time? And so the demand is there. And that does not even account for the institutional demand and what's happening there. So that's like a whole nother story. So the case for Bitcoin to chill out up here is there, but never underestimate the case for just the volatility that we all know, the dips that we all know, and Bitcoin coming back down out of overbought, and it could translate to a very ugly or scary looking hourly chart, right? I mean, that could bring us down here into the 20,000s if it were to happen. But we're not there yet. I mean, right now in the hourly, this is what we're tracking. We're watching support. It's there. We have a couple Fibonacci support areas depending on how you want to do it. I really like the support area, this Fibonacci retracement down here. If you're just getting to this live stream, it's simply the last 20% dip to that previous swing high. And we have a support area, that green channel, Fibonacci support. And it's just there. And so let's see what happens in the hours ahead. I really wanted to document what's going on. At the end of the day, I'll zoom out on this, and what you see here, the yellow lines, every $1,000 move for Bitcoin since $20,000. Now, this right now, tonight, as I do this video, isn't the first time Bitcoin has, dropped down, right? But I say it time and time again. The yellow lines, all these $1,000 all-time highs that Bitcoin's recently broken are now cushion. They're cushion for Bitcoin to consolidate, and their opportunity, if people want to buy dips, 20% discounted Bitcoin, it's just sitting there, right? It's sitting there on this hourly chart. So that's what we're looking at. We're going to continue to track it. I'm sure Bitcoin will make a move, And actually, before I end this, this is actually kind of important. What are we looking for Bitcoin? And if Bitcoin does hold support at these Fibonacci retracements, and let me just actually chart that one swing low to swing high. If Bitcoin sees support at these areas, what are we looking for, right? We're looking for something very similar what happened last 20% dip. And really all it is for continued support above this area. And I'm going to actually chart the other swing low to swing high, because that's where our true, actual, real-time support is. Let me actually, I'm going to delete that. Swing low to swing high. So what we're looking for is this hourly candle, which is so harmonious, once again, with that last 20% dip, to hold. We're looking for this to hold. We can revisit it. We can come up a little bit and revisit it again, everybody. That support is there now. It's defined right around 34,500 all the way down to 32,000. It's defined. But we're looking for higher highs and higher lows now. And keep an eye on this trend line right now. The trend line currently right around 36,800. If Bitcoin can make a move above $37,000 and put in some kind of swing high, that's what we really want to see for Bitcoin. We want to see series of higher highs and higher lows for continuation to the upside to start testing, a new Fibonacci retracement resistance area, which now would be that swing high to this current swing low. And the area to break, if you really want to get bullish, the area to break is this 38,700 to $40,000. Bitcoin can make a move up there. It's off to the races, and we can really start talking about that $45,000, $50 area, and the $50,000 area right at the top of the screen just sitting there. So I will note this one last area of support is that crazy last 20% dip to swing high. If this volatility continues to the downside, look for just that epic hourly drop, a $5,000 drop from where we are basically to that $30,800 area. That is just that last ditch support for Bitcoin. If we dip into that and bounce off of that, it would look epic. It would just be technically a perfect move. I don't know if we'll get there. People are buying down here, so let's see. We'll track that. Everybody, I appreciate you cruising by. I don't know if we got it. Did we get any super chats? If we got any super chats, everybody, I don't have the screen up, but we donate all super chats to WEQNT, Ada Cardano staking pool, and he's really sending, to put it simply, solar power bulbs to parts of Africa with people that literally don't have any light. So we're here talking about charts and money and making money, and there's people in the world that don't have light. So Bitcoin's dipping, but we are blessed, and I appreciate all you cruising by. Everybody, let's track Bitcoin. Let's see what it does. If you're here right now, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. I truly appreciate it. Let's see what Bitcoin does tonight. Time for me to go to relax a little bit. I'm going to be watching the charts just like you. Let's see if support holds. Let's see if this crazy parabolic party continues. I appreciate you all cruising by. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.